Okay, so keeping the hands interlocked, but just letting them relax down your back. We're going to turn and look over our left shoulder, not forcing anything. Back to the center, turning and looking over the right shoulder. Just feeling any tightness or stiffness in the neck. Back to the center. We're looking over the left shoulder. Keeping both shoulders down the back, we're going to drop the chin to the left shoulder. Just breathing through that stretch. Bringing the head back to the center again, returning and looking over the right shoulder. Drop the chin towards the shoulder. Again, just breathing through that stretch. Relaxing and coming back to the center again. We're going to drop the chin to the chest. Keep the shoulder blades squeezing together at the back. Feel that pull down the back of the neck. Nice gentle stretch. Good. And coming back up to the centers. Relax the arms and just roll those shoulders back. Good. So working on one leg, you're probably better off doing it off the mat just because it's easier on a slightly firmer surface. Can you see my feet? I'm going to drop the camera down a fraction. Okay. So place the hands on the hips. So the aim through this exercise is that the hip level doesn't change. So we're going to lift the heel up of the right foot. Now try not to let that right hip hitch up. Drop that right hip down. We're going to slide the right foot along the floor and slide it back. Keep up on the toe. Don't take the heel to the floor. Again, we're sliding the right foot forward. This time we're going to turn the toe out to the side. Feel that right hip opening. Center the toe and slide it back in again. Good. Again, slide the right foot forward. If you feel wobbly, just hold on to a wall. Turn that right toe out. Center it. And slide back in. So if you're feeling quite comfortable, then we're going to lift that knee up. Again, try not to let that hip hitch. Drop that hip down. Lengthen the leg straight out in front of you. Turn the toe out. Feel the hip opening. Center. And draw that knee back up again. Good. Oops. Good. So take the leg straight down in front of you. Turn the toe out, center, and draw that right knee back in again. Excellent. And place that right foot down. So what we're doing here is just firing up these glutes. So if we're feeling a bit wobbly, chances are those glutes are a little bit weak. So we're going to focus on those through this term. So lifting the left heel up off the floor now again, keeping those hips level. Slide the left foot forward and sliding straight back in again. Good. On the out breath, slide that left foot forward. Turn the toe out. Feel the opening of the hip. Center and slide back in again. Good. One more time. Slide that left foot forward. Turning the toe out. Center. And sliding back in. And then if you can, we're going to progress it to lift the knee up. Again, don't hitch that hip. Slide the leg out. Turn the toe out. Center. And draw that knee back in again. Brilliant. One more time. Take that left leg out. Turning the toe out. Center. And sliding that left knee back in. Excellent. Take the foot down. We're just going to circle the pelvis, those hips. Just loosen them off. Brilliant. And coming back to the center again. Nice soft knees. Left hand down, right arm up. Lengthening through the waist. We're going to slide down to the left knee. Reaching the right arm over the top. Try not to collapse the waist, keep lifted and over. Feel the opening of that right side. In breath to center, we're changing arms. Lengthen through the waist and over into the right side bend, reaching over with that left arm and feel the opening of that left side. And coming back to the center again. Good. So right hand onto right hip, left hand comes behind you onto the opposite hip. Keep that right hip pushing forward and we're going to turn to face the back of the room. Breathing through that stretch. Good, and then we're going to change. So left hand onto right hip, take the hand behind you, onto the other hip, push that right hip forward and turning to face the back. So we're just getting a nice rotation through that spine. And center, back up again and relaxing those arms off. Good. So coming into the roll down, so coming back onto your mat. Core engaged, nice soft knees. Now, even if it's easy for you to roll down with the straight legs, I want you to keep the knees soft so we get the movement through the lumbar spine. Neck and shoulders relaxed, deep breath in, drawing the belly button to spine. Arm out breath, we're dropping chin to chest, and we're slowly peeling the vertebra off the wall behind you. Arms hanging, head hanging. Taking time through that lumbar spine. Good. As we come all the way down to your toes, head hanging, shoulders down the back. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, scoot the belly button to spine, rounding back up, stacking that spine, one vertebra at a time. Come up to standing and rolling the shoulders back. Good. One more time. Deep breath in. Draw the belly button to spine. Arm out breath. We're rolling down. Arms hanging. Head hanging. Taking time. Feel the articulation through that lumbar spine. Make sure it comes one at a time. All the way down to the feet. This time we're either going to hook the hands under the feet or place the palms flat on the floor. Head hanging, shoulders down the back. We're straightening through the right knee. For 3, 2, 1, and soften. Straighten through the left knee. For 3, 2, 1, and soften. Straighten through both knees. Head hanging, shoulders down the back. Breathing through that stretch. And then we're going to soften through the knees, walk the hands forward, and we're coming down onto all fours. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Good. I'm just going to move my camera.
Nikki,
yeah.
when you stand up, we lose you from your shoulders upwards.
Sorry?
When you stand up, I've lost you from your shoulders upwards.
No, because I moved the camera down. Sorry, it's okay now. We're going to be working on the floor, so you should be able to see me okay. Everyone see me okay? All right, good. So, drawing that belly button to the spine. So we want a nice neutral spine. Make sure we're not dipping through that lower back. Draw the belly button up. We're going into the shoulder dip. So on the in-breath, we're just dropping down between the shoulder blades, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Now, we're not working the lumbar spine here. We're just working in between the shoulder blades. And then lifting up out of the shoulders and broadening between the shoulder blades. So in-breath, dipping between the shoulder blades. Try and get those shoulder blades to touch at the back. Out breath, lifting up and broadening through the shoulder blades. One more time. In breath, dip down, squeeze. So it's a small movement just between the shoulder blades. Out breath, lifting out of the shoulder joint and broadening. Brilliant. Into the cat stretch now. So on the in breath, now we're rounding that thoracic back up towards the ceiling. On the out breath, lengthen tail and crown, feet on through into the back extension. Good, just take the eyes to the ceiling if you can. Feel that nice stretch through the back. In breath, rounding thoracic back up towards the ceiling. Drop the head between the arms. On out breath, lengthen tail and crown into the back extension. Good. One more time, flexing, rounding up, getting the mobility, the articulation through the spine. On our breath, lengthen tail and crown, feeding on into the back extension. And then just one more time, I'm going to flex that back off, rounding up to the ceiling, and lengthening tail and crown and coming back to the neutral spine position. Good. So into the hip drops now. We're going to drop the hips to the right. Just take it steady the first time and then turn to look over the back of the heels. Opposite direction. In breath to center, and then we're dropping the hips to the left. Turn to look at the feet over the right shoulder. Good, so we're just opening up the pelvis, stretching through pelvis. You might even feel it through glutes or the side of the hamstring, IT band. And we're just going to use the breath to keep dropping from side to side. Good. One more time. Brilliant. Come back to the center. Sit back on your heels now. Creep the hands away from you. Drop the head to the mat. Breathing through that stretch. Keep creeping the fingers away. Opening up, all up through your lats. And then imagine a ball inflating underneath your belly button. You're rounding back up. Stacking that spine and come up to sitting. Good. And we're back onto all fours again. If the wrists are starting to hurt, just come onto forearms. We're going to slide the right leg back. Tuck the right toe underneath you. Try not to hitch the hip. Keep that hip drop down. Push back through the hands. We're taking the heel to the floor. Good. Feel that lovely stretch through the calf. Anybody who gets cramping in their calves at night, this is a lovely stretch. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slide that right knee back in. Good. So sliding the left leg back, drop the left hip down, tuck the toe underneath you, push back through the hands, take the heel towards the floor, and we're holding for 10. 9, keep the back of the head in line with the spine. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sliding that left knee back in. Good. So into the leg and arm raise now. We're going to do right arm, left leg. Again, focusing. We don't want to be hitching in the shoulder and we don't want to be hitching through the hip. And then we're reaching the arm and leg forward and back. So we're not looking for height, we're looking for length. Good. Lower back down. Slide it in and try not to shift the weight from one side to the other. So strong through the core. Right leg back, left hand forward, reaching forward and back. Lower back down, sliding back in and trying not to shift the weight. Brilliant, good. So right arm forward, left leg back, keeping the hip and shoulder down, reaching forward and back. And now if you want to progress it, you can take the arm and leg to the side. But if you start wobbling, just go forward and back to the center again, lower, and sliding back in. Brilliant. Left arm, right leg, reaching forward and back. Good. Strong through the core. And then we're going to take it to the side. Brilliant. Back to the center. Lower back down and sliding back in. One more time to each side. Right arm, left leg. Reaching forward and back. Take it to the side if you can. Back to the center. Lower. Sliding in. Trying not to shift that weight. Right leg back. Left arm forward. reaching forward and back. Take it to the side, back to the center, lower, slide it back in. Excellent. I'm going to sit back on your heels. Jane Thomas, have you come to sitting on the floor with the legs in the V? Kind of lost you actually. So big toes together. We're opening the knees out. Walk the hands forward. Now, if it's not comfortable to stay sitting on your heels, just lift the glutes up and walk the hands forward. And then we're going to walk the hands round to the right. Keep the head down. And you're reaching the left arm away from you. Try and keep the weight back on your heels. And feel that lovely stretch through the left side. And then we're going to center back up and walk all the way round to the left now. Reaching that right arm away. Feel that lovely opening all up through the right side. Back to the center. And then we're going to round back up, walk the hands back, rounding back up, stacking that spine and rolling the shoulders back. Brilliant. So we're going to come to sitting. Feet out, straight out in front, knees and feet hip width apart, stacking that spine. Come to the front of the mat, so you've got most of the mat rolling behind you. Arms in front. If you feel like you can't hold it anymore, grab hold of the thighs. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, we draw the belly button to spine. We're rounding through that lower back. We're coming down to the mat, so lumbar spine first. Thoracic, take the head down, reach the arms over the top. We're going to lengthen the legs away, hip width apart, back of the hands on the floor. I want you to think about the shoulders. If the hands don't come onto the floor, don't force it. You can, of course, bend your elbows slightly. Think about, on the out breath, that lumbar spine melting down into the mat. Good. So we're going to keeping all four limbs on the floor. We're going to reach the left arm to touch the wall behind you. At the same time, flexing through the foot, we're going to push the left leg away. So we're lengthening all down that left side. In, breath to center and relax. So reach the right arm back. So all four limbs on the floor, but we're reaching to touch the wall behind you. Flex through the right foot and you're pushing that right heel away. And in, breath to center and relax. Good. We're going to do a diagonal stretch now. So we're going to reach up with the left arm and right leg. And in, breath to center. And then we're reaching back with the right arm. Push the left leg away from you. So you're getting a nice stretch diagonally. And in, breath to center, back up, relaxing that back. You should feel now that that lumbar spine just relaxes into the mat a little bit more. Good. So bring the arms down by your side. We're bending your knees. Heels should be about 1.5 hands length away from your glutes. We're going to find our neutral spine position. So imagining the marble on the belly button. On the in-breath, you're going to roll the pelvis forward. But as you roll the pelvis forward, I want you to take the chin up towards the ceiling. As you start to roll the marble up towards the breastbone, so flattening through the lumbar spine, I want you to slide the chin towards your chest. Your head stays down on the floor, we're just lengthening through the back of the neck. So rolling the pelvis forward, arching through the lumbar spine, we're taking the chin to the ceiling. Rolling the marble up towards the breastbone, flattening through the back. We're taking the chin towards the chest. One more time. In, breath, arching through the lumbar spine, chin towards the ceiling. On the out breath, flattening through the lumbar spine, and we're taking the chin towards the chest. Brilliant. Keeping that length through the back of the neck, finding the halfway point between the two, so neutral spine position. We're going to float the right and left arm up towards the ceiling, keeping the shoulders down the back. Good. Palms facing each other. So we're going to imagine we're plucking an apple from the tree with the right arm. So reaching that right arm up towards the ceiling, feeling the shoulder lift up. On the out breath, we're going to lower the shoulder to the floor. As we do that, we're going to slide the shoulder blade down our backs. Good. Reaching the left arm up to pluck the apple from the tree. As you lower the shoulder to the floor, we're going to slide that shoulder blade down your back. Right arm reaching to pluck the apple. Now we're going to bring the right arm between the left and your head. So we're bringing it over to the left side. Follow the hand with the head. So we're getting a stretch now behind that right shoulder blade. So bringing the arm over between the head and the left arm. Good, and then take the hand back up to the ceiling, and as you lower the shoulder, slide the shoulder blade down your back. Reaching up with that left arm to pluck the apple, bring the left arm over, follow the hand with the head. So the head's turning to the right, look at the hand, reaching towards that right side, back up to the ceiling, and slide the shoulder blade down the back as you lower that shoulder. Good. So one more time to each side. Right arm reaching up for the apple. Bring the arm over to the left side. Follow the hand with the head. Good. Back up to the ceiling again, and as you lower the shoulder, slide the shoulder blade down your back, reaching up with that left arm, crossing it over between the arm and the head, feeling that lovely stretch behind the shoulder blade, back up to the ceiling again, and as you lower the shoulder, sliding the shoulder blade down. So we're relaxing the arms down by your side now. Relaxing the shoulders and neck, coming up into the shoulder bridge position. So when you're ready, deep breath in. As you breathe out, we're tilting that pelvis up off the mat, and then we're peeling the vertebra one at a time, squeezing the glutes, pushing forward through the front of the thigh as we come up into the shoulder bridge position. Hips are lifted, rib cage down. Just check by turning the head left to right that there's no tension through the neck or shoulders. Deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to come back down one vertebra at a time, keeping that pelvis curled up until the end. Good. One more time. Deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're curling that pelvis up off the mat, peeling the vertebra one at a time, squeezing through the glutes as we come up into the shoulder bridge position. Hips lifted, ribs caged down. We're working with our glute squeezes here, so we're going to relax the hips 2 centimeters and squeeze them back up again. Good. The rib cage doesn't move. Keep that rib cage down. So for 2, relax and squeeze for 3. For 4, going for 10. For 5. For 6, really squeezing those glutes on the left. For 7. For 8, for 9, last one for 10, and we're coming back down, one vertebra at a time, keeping the pelvis curled up until the end. Brilliant. Hugging those knees into your chest, rocking from side to side, just loosen off that back. Good, I'm just getting some more light on. Excellent. So taking the feet back down to the mat, place the hands onto your hips. So again here we're working with pelvic stability, but also firing the glutes up. So whatever we do now with our legs, we don't want the hips, the pelvis and hips to change. So the hips shouldn't be dropping down, should be staying level. If you feel the hip starts to drop, then you want to squeeze that glute to lift the hip back up again, all right? So lifting the left toes up, keep the heel on the mat, just lift the left toes up off the mat. And we're going to lengthen that leg straight out away from you. So again, checking that nothing changes with the hips. They stay exactly even as we lengthen that leg away. And then sliding that left leg back in again. Good. So on the out breath, lengthening that left leg away again. Checking that the pelvis stays level. The hips don't drop, and sliding that left heel back up again. Take the toe back down to the floor. We're going to drop that left knee open. Again, don't let that hip drop down. So keep squeezing through the glute and closing that left knee back up again. Good. One more time with that left leg on the out breath. We're dropping the knee to the side. Don't let that hip drop. And draw that left knee back up again. Now we're going to float that left leg up to tabletop. Make sure your lumbar spine stays into the mat and don't let those abdominals pop up. And we're lowering the left foot to the floor. Good. On the out breath, floating the left leg up to tabletop. And lower it back down to the floor again. So we're going to do a little sequence now. We're dropping the left knee open. Don't let that hip drop. Slide that left leg straight away from you. Center the foot back up when you get to the bottom, or lengthened leg. And then we're going to float that left leg back up to tabletop. And at all times, those hips are staying completely level and solid. From here now, we're going to float the left knee open. If it feels too strong for your hip, take the foot back down to the floor. Lengthen the leg away. Keep it lifted up off the floor, just fractionally. Center the toe and floating the leg back to tabletop again. Good. One more time. Drop the knee open. To the side, lengthen the leg away, don't let that hip drop, center the foot back up, and then we're going to float that left knee back up to tabletop position. Brilliant. Lower that left foot to the floor. We're working on the right leg now. So when you're ready, on the out breath, lifting the toes, the right toes up off the mat, we're sliding that right leg away. Keeping that right hip level with the left. Good. And sliding that right heel back up again. Good. One more time. On the out breath, slide that right leg away. Keep lifted through that right glute. And slide that right heel back in again. So taking the toes to the floor, we're going to drop that right knee open. Don't let that right hip drop. So keep squeezing through the glutes to keep it level. Slide, closing that right knee up again. One more time. Drop that right knee open, keeping the hips level. And closing that right knee back up again. So watching the lower abdominals here, we're going to float the right leg up to tabletop and lower the right foot to the floor. One more time. On the out breath, floating the right leg up to tabletop. Make sure your lumbar spine stays in the mat. And we're floating that right foot to the floor. Brilliant. So we're going to do the sequence. We're dropping the right knee open, sliding the outside of the foot along the floor as we lengthen the leg away. Don't let that hip drop down. Center the foot back up, and we're floating it back to tabletop position. Good. So from tabletop position now, we're dropping that right knee open. Don't let the hip drop. Lengthen the leg straight out away from you. Center the toe back up and float it back to tabletop. Good. Last time. Drop the right knee open. Don't let that hip drop. Lengthen the leg straight away from you. Center the toe back up and floating back to tabletop position. We're going to take hold of that right knee, hug it into your chest, lengthen the left leg away from you, flexion through the foot, hugging that right knee in, push the left heel away, breathing through that stretch. And then we're going to take the left hand over the right knee, right arm just relaxes to the floor. We're going to bring the right knee over to the left shoulder. Good, so bringing it up and over to the shoulder. You should feel a stretch sort of through the glutes, maybe even a little bit into that IT band, the outside of that leg. Good, center back up, take the right foot to the floor. You're going to slide the left knee into your chest now. Hug that left knee in, slide the right leg away, flexion through the foot, push the heel away from you. Hug that knee in, and then take the right hand onto the knee and draw that knee over towards the right shoulder. So you're going to lift up slightly through the left side. We're not coming all the way onto the left, just slightly lifting up and breathing through that stretch. Good, and then centering back up, leave the left leg up in tabletop. We're going to float the right leg up, imprint the lumbar spine. So whatever we do here, the most important thing is to make sure that lumbar spine doesn't lift up off the mat. We're floating both arms up towards the ceiling. So we're toe tapping, so touching the toe to the floor. We're going to take the left arm up, right arm down. Float back up to the ceiling again and change. So lumbar spine imprinted, breathing out to lower, in to come back up again. Good. So foot 2 and 2. Keep that lumbar spine into the mat. 3 and 3. Good. Make sure those lower abdominals aren't popping up for 4. And 4, for 5, and 5. We're going on into heel taps now. So flexion through the foot, take the heel to the floor for 1. And 1. Now if it's feeling very easy for you, take that leg a bit longer for 2. And 2, but make sure that lumbar spine is staying locked in the mat for 3. And 3, 2 more, for 4, that's to each side, 4, last one, for 5, and 5, excellent. Hug those knees into your chest, rock from side to side. Take those knees as wide as your shoulders now, and again, just rocking, just really loosening that pelvis off. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to grab our bands now, place them around the right foot. Take that right leg up to the ceiling. We're holding the band in the right hand. Make sure you've got quite a good resistance there on the band. And feeling that hamstring, having a nice stretch there. Good. Watch your lower back here as well. Just think about that lumbar spine staying into the mat. Breathing through that. And then we're going to open the right leg out. Now don't lift up that left side. Make sure that left sacrum stays into the mat. You should be feeling a nice pull through that inner thigh. Good. Take the leg back up to the ceiling. Change hands. So holding the band in your left hand now. We're going to bring the right leg over to the left. Again, don't lift that right side up. Keep it down into the mat. And breathing through that stretch. Good, back up to the ceiling again. We're going to change legs, so left foot into the band, holding the band in your left hand, getting a nice resistance there so you can feel that stretch through the left hamstring. If you're feeling any discomfort behind the knee, just slightly bend that knee, not too much, otherwise we take the hamstring out of the equation, but just slightly bend the knee. So we don't have to extend there, and then we're going to open that left leg out to the side, keep the right side down into the mat, keep the both sacrum, sides of that sacrum, seat bones down into the floor, feel that through the inner thigh, and then we're going to center that leg back up again, take the band in the right hand, draw the leg over to the right, again keep the left side down on the mat. We're just stretching all three angles, the hip and those hamstrings, and center, back up again. We're going to take the band off, keep it handy. We're just going to close the knees and the feet together, arms out to the side, palms to the ceiling. So on the out breath, we're going to drop both knees down to the left, head goes to the right. Good. Don't force the stretch, quite strong through the lower back. So just let your body ease into it. Use your breath to feed oxygen to those tight muscles and breathe through, trying to relax them. Good. And then we're going to bring the left arm over to the right. Good. And just breathing through that stretch. Open the left arm back out again. Take the lumbar spine to the mat as we center those knees back up. Good. So on the out breath, we're going to take both knees down to the right, keep the feet stacked, head goes to the left. Again, just breathing through that stretch. Bring the right arm over to meet the left. And easing any tightness in that lower back. Good, we're going to open the arm back out and then take the lumbar spine to the mat as we center back up again. On the out breath, both knees to the left again, head goes to the right. This time we're going to lengthen the right leg over the left knee, toe towards the floor. Feeling that stretch again through the glutes. Good. Any discomfort in the shoulders, you can place your hands onto your shoulders, just takes a bit of the weight out of the stretch through the arms. Stack knees and ankles and take the lumbar spine to the mat as we center back up. Good. On the out breath, we're going over to the right, head goes to the left. When you're ready, we're going to lengthen that left leg over the right knee. Breathing through that stretch. Good. And then we're going to stack the knees and ankles, take the lumbar spine to the mat as we center back up again. Brilliant. So very slowly, we're going to roll onto our sides and come up to sitting position. We're grabbing the bands. Now, if you have hip issues, this is where I would suggest leave the band, or even if you've got lower back tweaking out, you maybe leave the band here. But if you want a little bit more resistance, we're going to take the band. We're just going to tie it one, so we're not doing a double one. So coming underneath first, and then we can tie the band. So if you imagine you sort of have a palm's width, hand width between the knees, and then you can tie that band up. I always do both, it's easier to undo, but whatever works for you. And then we're going to come down to lying on our right side. Bring your cushions or pillows, whatever you've got. And we're starting with the knees bent. Hands on that pillow, and the arms are straight out in front of you. Lining the shoulder up with your hip and keeping the shoulders stacked and the hips stacked. Good. Okay. So when you're ready, deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to take that top arm up to the ceiling. Push that top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head as we open that arm back. Try not to drop that hip. Don't roll back with that hip. Keep it stacked. Otherwise, we lose the rotation. If it's too uncomfortable through the front, through your pecs or arm, place the hand onto the shoulder and just let the elbow guide you towards the floor. On the out breath, we're drawing the arm back up and closing the book up. Good. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, push that top hip forward, but taking the hand to the ceiling. Follow the hand with the head into the open book. Good. Holding for an in-breath. As we breathe out, we're drawing the arm back up and closing the book up. Now, if your hand isn't getting anywhere near the floor, I want you to just keep going with that one. Just opening and closing, just gently trying to open up through the pecs. If your hand is getting to the floor, then we're going to take the arm to the ceiling, push that top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head and we're going to draw the chalk circle. So we're coming down over the legs. So imagine you're drawing a circle around you, keeping the hand to the floor as much as possible, crossing over the open hand, up above your head, back into the open book position, pushing that top hip forward, and then we're drawing that arm back up and over again. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, arm to the ceiling, push that top hip forward, follow the hand with the head. We're drawing the chalk circle, but we're coming up above the head this time. Crossing over the open hand, down over the legs, push that hip forward into your open book, follow the hand with the head, and we're drawing that arm back up and over again. Brilliant. So sliding the block or pillow away, take your arm underneath your head. You can, if you want to, if your head's a bit low, you can place your pillow between your arm and your ear, whichever is more comfortable for you. Take that left hand on top of your hip. Now, again, the hips do not move here. They stay stacked. So you don't want to be dropping back, opening that hip up. Keep it stacked on top of the other one. Keeping the feet glued together, squeezing through the glutes, and we're going to take the knee up towards the ceiling. Good. Holding for a breath. And lower back down again. Good. On the out breath, squeeze those glutes, knee towards the ceiling, and we're pulsing it here. So squeezing the glutes for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down again. Good. We're going to take the knee and ankle up towards the ceiling now, squeezing through the glutes. And lower back down again. On the out breath, knee and ankle up towards the ceiling. Good. Now we're going to open the knee to the ceiling. Don't drop back on the hip. Level it back out again. And then we're going to drop the knee towards the other one. Take the foot to the ceiling. Level it back out again. And we're squeezing the knees back together. Good. On the out breath, knee and ankle up towards the ceiling. Good. So we're going to take the knee to the ceiling. Don't drop that hip. Level. Knee towards the other one. Foot to the ceiling. Level it back out. And we're closing it back up again. Good. Going to take knee and ankle to the ceiling. We're going to pulse it now. Squeezing the glutes for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're lowering that back down again. Brilliant. Give it a good pat off. Lengthening both legs away from you now. Bringing the legs just slightly in front of the midline to help with the balance. Hand on top of the hip. We're pointing through the top toe. So pointing, we're taking the leg up as high as we can. Flex, lengthen through the top line. So lifting the waist up away from the mat as we lower back down. Pointing to come up. Flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Good. 2 more. Pointing, coming up, flex, lift the waist away from the mat as you lower. Good. Last one. Pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Good. So toe pointing towards the floor. If you feel like it's you're already feeling quite tired through there, I suggest just do some little lifts here, don't go too high. So keeping the toe towards the floor, taking the leg up to the ceiling, toe to the ceiling to lower back down. Toe to the floor, up to the ceiling, toe to the ceiling to lower, 2 more. Toe to the floor, up to the ceiling, toe to the ceiling to lower. Now think about your glutes as well here. Keep them fired up. Toe to the floor, up, toe to the ceiling. Good. Pat that off. We're going to grab hold of that left ankle now. Take the heel to the glutes. Slide that left knee back until you feel a nice pull down the front of that left thigh. Breathing through that stretch. Good. 4, 5, 4, keep increasing it if you can. 3, 2, 1, and give that leg a good pat off. Excellent. So grabbing your blocks or pillows, we're going to turn onto our left side. So starting with the block underneath your head, arms straight out in front of you. Shoulders and hips stacked. When you're ready, deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're taking that top arm up towards the ceiling. Push that top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head into the open book. Try not to drop back on that hip, otherwise we're losing that nice stretch through the pecs. On the out breath, we're drawing the arm back up and over and closing that book. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, arm to the ceiling. Push that top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head. Breathing through that stretch. On the out breath, we're drawing the arm back up and over again. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, arm to the ceiling. Push the top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head. Now again, if we're not getting the hand anywhere near the floor, just keep going with opening and closing. Otherwise, we're going to draw the chalk circle. So we're coming down over the legs, over the open arm, coming up above the head, back into your open book position. And then we're drawing the arm back up and over again. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, arm to the ceiling. Push that top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head. We're drawing the chalk circle. We're coming up above the head now. Crossing over the open hand. Down over the legs. Pushing that top hip forward. Follow the hand with the head. And on the out breath, we're drawing the arm back up and over again. So sliding the block away from under the head, place the left arm underneath. Hand on top of the right hip, squeezing the glute together. Keep the feet together. We're taking the knee up towards the ceiling and lower back down again. Remember, try not to rock back on that hip. On the out breath, squeeze the glute, knee towards the ceiling. We're pulsing it now. Keep the feet together. And we're pulsing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down again. Good. On the out breath, knee and ankle up towards the ceiling, squeezing through that glute. Holding for a breath and squeezing back together again. On the out breath, squeezing through the glute, knee and ankle up towards the ceiling. We're opening the knee to the ceiling. And then drop the knee towards the other one, foot to the ceiling. So again, we're opening, getting the opening and closing through the hip. Level the knee and ankle and closing back up again. Good. On the out breath, squeezing through the glute, knee and ankle to the ceiling. Take the knee to the ceiling. And then take the knee towards the other one, foot to the ceiling. Level it back up again and squeezing back shut. Good. We're going to pulse it this next time. So on the out breath, knee and ankle to the ceiling, and we're pulsing for 10, 9. Keep squeezing the glute. It's all glute work. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower back down. Good. Give that a pat off. Nettie, I'm not seeing you.
Sorry?
I was trying to, there. Are you wearing that band?
Yeah, I'm using that band, yeah.
Oh, well done. Okay, so both legs straight out, just slightly bringing them in front of the midline, pointing through the top toe. So we're taking that top leg up towards the ceiling, flex, lengthen, so lift the waist up off the mat as you lower. Pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Good. Pointing to come up, flex, lift the waist up as you lengthen through the top line. Last one, pointing to come up, flex, lengthen, and lower back down. Good. So toe to the floor. Take the leg up to hip height, toe to the ceiling to lower back down. Toe to the floor, up to hip height, toe to the ceiling to lower. Good. 2 more. Toe to the floor, up, toe to the ceiling to lower. Last one, toe to the floor, up, toe to the ceiling to lower back down. Good. Give it a pat off. We're going to grab that right ankle, heel to the glutes, slide the knee back until you feel a nice stretch through the front of the thigh. If you've got any pinching in your lower back, just tuck your tailbone underneath you. Good, keep that stretch. You might feel you need to keep increasing that a little bit. Excellent, good. And then just giving that leg a good shake off. Okay, so very slowly we're going to come up to sitting position again. And we're going to take the bands off. Good. And then we're going to sit with the legs in a V. Slight flexion through the toes. Or through the foot, sorry. Crown of the head up towards the ceiling, so nice and tall, lengthening through that spine. Hinging from the hips, we're going to walk the hands forward, draw the shoulders down the back. So thinking of length through the back, you're not rounding to the floor. Then we're going to place the left elbow inside of the left knee. Come down into a side bend with the right arm over the top and then look up towards the ceiling. Good. We're going to rotate the chest to the floor, walk the hands over, right elbow inside of knee, left arm comes over the top and then looking up to the ceiling. Breathing through that stretch. Rotate the chest to the floor again. Walk the hands back to the center. And then we're rounding back up. Stacking that spine. Roll the shoulders down. Closing the legs together. Keep the feet in flexion. Again, hinging from the hips. We're dropping down over those knees. Draw the shoulders down the back. Lovely hamstring, lower back stretch. Breathing through that. One last breath in and out. Good. Rounding and stacking the spine. We're just going to take the soles of the feet together now. Holding on to those feet. Again, stacking that spine. Hinging forward. We're going to drop down over the feet. So we're getting, hopefully, a nice pull through these inner thighs, through the adductors there. Good. And breathing through that. Last time. Deep breath in and out. Good. So, stacking that spine, we're going to turn onto all fours. Tuck your toes underneath you. So, pushing up into down dog, heels to the floor. Take the head through to the knees. Try and draw those shoulder blades together at the back. Good. Breathing, soften through the knees. Walk the hands back towards your feet. And on our breath, we're going to round back up, stacking that spine. Excellent work coming up to standing. Good job, everyone.